Hello, everyone. Welcome to edX Pixel Expo 8 monthly webinar, global webcast, or the series. And thank you for being patient. We were a little bit late, but thank you for still being there. And also, once again, we would like to say thank you. I can't say enough thank you for joining us on this stunning Sunday to actually pre-celebrate Singapore's 56th birthday. And also because we would like to convene over a united cause, that is our love for diving and the ocean. If anyone who would like to like or share this particular post, okay, be one of the first 56 and then you stand a chance to receive a free Asian Diver e-magazine Scuba 101, which is the essential guide to Southeast Asia Collector's Edition. So you just have to simply like or share, and then if you have any questions for this next panelist, go ahead and bomb it, please. Thank you so much. All right, back to this session. We have a special one as we are bringing in Singapore's very own edX Ocean Heroes as they share with us their individual journey through this panel itself. And, of course, in celebration of Singapore waters, these ocean heroes are doing their stuff to protect our ocean together. Herewith, the moderator that will be fronting this panel is, of course, none other than Sam Sujin. Sam, you want to say a big hi to everyone?
Hi, everyone.
Thank you. So just a short introduction of who Sam is. Sam is an avid diver, coral scientist, and also an educator with the main intention to raise awareness about marine debris. She also co-founded our Singapore Reefs to connect like-minded marine enthusiasts through diving and also educational outreach programs. With her training in science communication, she hopes to increase public knowledge, inspire marine stewardship, and also promote discussion in marine science and conservation through various public engagement activities. So herewith, I'd like to pass the baton over to Sam, like how we do in Olympics. And she will go ahead and introduce the rest of the panelists. Sam, over to you.
Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you again to the edX team for the opportunity to shine some light on our very own ocean heroes, their work on marine conservation, and also for me to moderate this discussion. So to all our friends, welcome to this session. And with me this afternoon, we have a group of very passionate ladies in marine research and conservation. We have Kelly. Hi, Kelly.
Hello, everyone.
We have Debbie and Yanni. Hi. Okay, so we are also from the Friends of Marine Park, which is a community which includes representatives from various stakeholder groups consisting of boaters, divers, scientists, education providers, and even the ex-islanders. Okay, so Friends of Marine Park, it provides us a platform to promote active and responsible use of the marine park through ground-led initiatives. And today we'll be exploring more about this conservation work done in Singapore waters and also find out how these ladies are joining forces and working together with the marine community to protect our oceans and animals within. Okay, so let me now introduce our ocean heroes. So first up, we have Kelly. So Kelly is a graduate of the Masters of Environmental Management, a marine intertidal guide, and has volunteered for turtle hatcheries overseas. She is also currently the manager of biodiversity in the Coastal Marine Branch in the National Parks Board. She manages the marine park and is directly involved in the coral husbandry work at St. John Island, and also manages the turtle hatchery at Small Sisters Islands. She also spearheads local marine conservation, education, and outreach efforts, using her work experience to inspire the next generation and the general public to love and appreciate nature. Okay, so now let's invite Kelly to share what she do.
Okay, hi everyone, good morning. So I'll be sharing my slides over here, and I want to thank edX Pixel first for inviting us and the fellow panelists to this talk. And I'll be representing National Parks Board to share more about our local conservation efforts, as well as some of the things that my department does. So I will first introduce myself and then talk about what my department does before diving down into my personal job scope in my department. So as mentioned, I graduated from NUS for both bachelor's as well as master's, bachelor's being environmental biology and master's being Masters of Environmental Management. So I'm actually a trained educator with a teaching
Recording in progress.
and this really greatly helped me in my line of work now as a manager of biodiversity in the coastal and marine branch. So my job scopes not only includes turtles and coral conservation, but also very exciting job scope of outreach and education for schools, groups, as well as even companies as well. So I would like to share more about my department. We are quite a small team, but we manage the Sisters Island Marine Park, and we act as a scientific and technical consultant for many of the coastal development works in Singapore. We also have a lot of biodiversity surveys projects going on, and we do a lot of habitat mapping for coastal areas in Singapore. And we also spearhead a lot of marine conservation outreach and education efforts, which I'll share more later in my presentation. And upcoming, we have a very exciting project. We have a Marine Climate Change Science, MCCS, where we are using nature-based solutions to actually tackle and be more resilient to climate change as a country. So this picture shows some people from my department, but this is not all of them. It's a much bigger team. But I just wanted to emphasize that for this job, we get to go overseas, quote unquote, quite often. So here we are at Raffles Lighthouse on Pulau Satu. So moving on to my work on coral conservation, I think my fellow panelists will share a more scientific approach to this work, but for NParks, we actually do have a Plant a Coral See the Reef initiative where members of public can donate directly to the cause. And they can donate any amount, but $200 grants them a coral nubbin as well as a guided walk on St. John's Island. So back end, what we do over here on St. John Island is that we actually fragment large coral fragments to smaller fragments called coral nubbins. And then we will actually outgrow them on our coral nursery on St. John's Island. So once they reach a certain size, certain healthy color, we will actually outplant them onto our artificial reef units, which we call reef enhancement units. So every month or so, we'll dive down and monitor and maintain these reef enhancement units and take any photos or measurements for data collection purpose, which we will upload onto our portal Biome. Now moving on to my turtle conservation, now it's actually the turtle nesting season. So we are actually on call 24/7 for any nesting event. The reports usually come in from site managers, but sometimes members of public or our own volunteers will also report nesting events. And we'll go down and assess the level of threat to the nest. Now, for example, in this photo, the nest has already been predated on by a monitor lizard, but there might be some remaining eggs that are healthy. Or the nest might be laid quite close to the shoreline and high tides will likely flood the nest and kill all the eggs. So for these types of nests, we'll actually relocate them to our Small Sisters Islands turtle hatchery, which looks something like that. And we'll incubate them until they emerge. Now for nests that are relatively safe, we'll actually keep them there and let them emerge naturally, but we'll mesh and conceal them for safety. So when they emerge, they look something like this. They're really cute. So the hatchlings, these are hawksbill hatchlings, will emerge from the sand, their nest, and then we will collect them in pails because we want to take key measurements of 10 hatchlings. This includes like carapace length and width, as well as their mass. So once that's done, we will actually release them naturally into the open sea and let them walk a length of beach themselves. This hatchling actually made it back to the water, don't worry. So they're very cute, and it's important to let them walk the rest of the way themselves for the purpose of imprinting. This is where hatchlings remember the geographical location of their birthplace. So 20 years down the road, when they reach sexual maturity, they actually come back to this place to mate as well as to lay eggs, and that will contribute to our local marine biodiversity as well. So it's very important. Okay, moving on to our outreach and education efforts. So since the inception of Sisters Island Marine Park in 2014, we have always organized intertidal guided walks. But the island is now closed for redevelopment, so our guided walks are now held on St. John's Island, and it not only covers biodiversity, but heritage, culture, and history of the place as well. So it's a very well-rounded kind of guided walk. And during turtle nesting season, we also have our biodiversity beach patrols, where our volunteers will patrol popular turtle nesting sites for signs of nesting events or even for horseshoe crabs as well. However, the reality is that most of the time, as you can see in this caption, they might not be able to see anything when they patrol for that night. But do take note that they're still contributing to local marine conservation efforts. And recently, we also added an intertidal outreach patrol where a lot of people in Singapore are going for intertidal walks now. It's very popular. So there's a huge buzz around it. So what we do for NParks, we actually engage a lot of volunteers and NParks staff to go down and patrol popular intertidal sites in Singapore and engage members of the public on the proper intertidal etiquette and behavior, and also the safety aspects of an intertidal walk, such as attire, what not to touch, and all that. And Minister Desmond Lee in this picture is also kind enough to come down and engage volunteers and members of public himself. So we're very thankful for that as well. And lastly, we have an Intertidal Watch, which is a citizen science program where participants and volunteers actually conduct surveys on intertidal sites every quarter, and they will use proper scientific survey techniques. So for all these programs that I've mentioned, all our volunteers and participants will have to be properly trained before they can participate. So that is a requirement should you want to come on board as well. So lastly, I'm also very proud to share with you guys our stakeholder engagement. As Sam mentioned just now, we have a Friends of Marine Park community with a lot of like-minded individuals coming from different stakeholdership. So we have like educators, scientists, we have fishing community, ex-islanders, and all of them have the common goal and purpose to promote, safe and equitable use of our open waters, as well as the message of sustainability and conservation of marine biology. So we are very thankful that we are also collaboratively managing the Bandera Bay on St. John's Island, and it has been really fruitful so far. And we have a lot of findings from the scientific community as well. When it comes to the education community, I also like to share some really good work done by them. Recently with the intertidal bus, the education team actually put together a series of Instagram posts as well as Insta stories promoting the intertidal etiquette and safety, like I mentioned just now, but in very cute infographics. The best thing they did was they actually converted these into 4 different national languages. They translated it all and they posted it all. So I think that was really an amazing feat done by the education team. So with all this stakeholdership, I think we are very thankful as NParks to have so many people walking alongside us, carrying the same message as well. So our 3 different panelists are also from the Friends of Marine Park, and we are also very thankful that they are here today as well. So with that, I would like to pass it to Dr. Yani soon. So if you have any inquiries that are specific to my job scope or volunteering opportunities, you can drop an email. But for other questions, we'll wait till the Q&A at the end. So thank you so much, and I would like to pass the baton on to Dr. Yani.
Wait, pass to me first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So thank you, Kelly. I think it's very interesting. So NPark do have a lot of exciting volunteer programs. So do look out for it, and then also contact NPark if you're interested. Okay, and I think myself we have participated inside in the turtle release, and I think it was so magical. So it's really something that if you're really into marine conservation, it's something that you should look out for. Okay, so next up we have Dr. Yani. So Dr. Yani Tanzil is a marine ecologist with Tropical Marine Science Institute, National University of Singapore. She is also one of the resident scientists working at St. John Island National Marine Laboratory. So Dr. Yani started scuba diving in 2002 and has been actively exploring the coral reef of Singapore and the region for work and leisure ever since. Okay, so her current research is very interesting. It involves examining the bands of the skeletons of corals. So it's like 3 rings to reconstruct past environment conditions and also the growth rate of coral around Southeast Asia. So with her work, Dr. Tanzil hopes to better understand coral responses to climate change and other environmental disturbance. Okay, so let's learn more from her.
Thanks, Sam. Okay, let me just share my screen. Here, press play. Okay, so first of all, thanks again to ADEX for inviting, for having me on this once more, and thanks Sam for shooting all the arrows.
Great.
And thank you all for tuning in tuning into this broadcast as well. So as Sam said, I am from the St. John's Island National Marine Laboratory, as well as the Tropical Marine Science Institute at NUS. If you don't know if this is the first time you're hearing about SJI and ML, the mouthful acronym for the Marine Station, we're situated on St. John's Island, as the name suggests, which is actually part of a complex of islands. It's in the south of Singapore, in the Singapore Strait, and the station's actually been on the island since like 2002. So same year as when I first started diving, it seems. And it was initially part of TMSI NUS, but in 2016, it got designated as a National Research Foundation, National Research Infrastructure, and we remain as the first and the only offshore marine research station in Singapore. So here, this is where actually my office is, on the island. My office is surrounded by a whole bunch of nature. We've got corals, we've got seagrass, we've got mangroves, we've got rocky shores, a lot of interesting, unique geological formations as well, and a lot of history as well. So as a national research infrastructure, basically our aim is really to serve as a focal point for marine science research as well as education. A national resource for marine science expertise, support research that meets strategic national agenda, and also provide shared resources supported by skilled personnel that's open to all researchers. So we welcome all researchers, local as well as international, to come to the marine station and do your thing. As I said, we've got a whole bunch of facilities, and a big plus of the marine station located offshore St. John's is that we can actually supply our various aquarium facilities with good quality seawater. So we've got outdoor aquarium as well as controlled environment aquarium, where we can manipulate temperature, pH, lights, and quite a number of parameters to mimic different climate scenarios and all that. We've got research vessel, we've got a whole bunch of labs as well. So it's a bit of one-stop shop for research. But we also support like education a lot. We have people spaces, we've got dorms, kitchens, seminar rooms, classrooms, and of course together with NParks, we collaborate, and the Marine Park Outreach and Education Center is actually located together with the St. John's Island National Marine Lab. So that's like the facilities, but of course you need the people, right, to really make sure the roofs don't fall down on your head, and things still get done on the island. The marine station is actually supported by lab managers, aquarium managers, field support officers, and all that. We've got this facility management here, but we've also got a whole bunch of resident scientists conducting a variety of research, and all sort of really looking at how we can further marine science in Singapore, and how we can also conserve the marine environment around Singapore. So you see here a bunch of people and a bunch of names, including myself. I think you see some familiar faces like Dr. Neo, Mei Lin, Yan Xiang, and all that. And we conduct a variety of research, but if we're going to put people and their research into boxes, this is just a basic overview of what everyone is doing. So for instance, Dr. Serena Teo, she's known for anti-fouling research. Dr. Cendric Leong, harmful algal blooms. Myself, I like the coral and environment person. Mei Lin, clams, and then we've got Nick, jellyfish, anemones, BN, crabs and crustaceans, aquaculture, and microbial ecology. So at the marine station, the resident scientists conduct a variety of research, marine science research. So just because this particular webinar today is about conservation as well, right? So at how research actually contributes to conservation. So we've got, I think this is someone quite a lot of you are familiar with, Dr. Neo Mei Lin, and she's basically the clam girl or clam mama of the island, maybe of Singapore. And she has been conducting research on clam reproduction and how to culture clams so that we can repopulate the clam clan population is on Singapore's reefs. But she's venturing also to other organisms. She's going to cowries as well now, which is another very popular marine animal that's popular in the aquarium trade, but also very colorful, and they get collected a lot from the seashores, and the numbers are dwindling out there. And I mean, cowries were used in the past as currency as well. That's why they were also collected quite a lot in the past. And we've got in terms of culture, we've also got the seagrass lady, our Dr. Ao Yen Siang. She's trying to grow seagrass, or she has been successfully growing seagrass at the marine station and studying them as well, because seagrasses have, as the only marine flowering plants out there, they have very huge potential for carbon uptake, and they're very efficient carbon sinks. They're touted. I mean, they are a very good blue carbon sink. So she's conducting, and she's growing seagrasses at the marine station, as well as conducting research on how to better see how they can contribute to nature-based solutions for blue carbon storage. Of course, I'm not gonna, if we're talking about culture of marine organisms, I'm not gonna skip corals, because, that's like my, it's my heart right there. And so we've been culturing corals at the marine station for a very long time, since, Dr. Karen Toon, Prof. Chow, and, like Lionel, like a whole bunch of generation of coral scientists have been growing corals at the marine station. So this is how we used to grow corals, basically, just growing them in trays. But more recently, we've decided, because Singapore is lacking in space, so we also at the marine station lacking in space, so we're trying to grow corals en masse. We're trying to really maximize vertical spaces as well. So building HDB blocks for corals at the marine station, and together with NParks, we also work on research to try and plant them out. This is planting out some coral fragments at Bandera Bay. And here you can kind of see we also help with research monitoring the corals as well, together with NParks. I just want to share with everyone that corals are animals, and I just wanted to share this really cool video of corals feeding on a worm, doing the lady and then tramping it with a worm here. And yeah, I mean, they're really cool animals. That's why I like working with them a lot. Other than that, culturing marine organisms, as I say, education is a big mission for the marine station as well. We've got an aim to strengthen capacity in marine science and environment. We conduct a variety of workshops, seminar talks, and all that. And you can go to our website and take a look at what research seminars we have. We have the education and outreach team, which with Dr. Teresa Su and Priscilla is a couple of them. We conduct the STEP Environment Camp that involve over 100 students from ASEAN countries, India as well as China. And basically education being a key part of conservation, which is really a social issue, and you having more people know about what's out there will get them to really, you can't love what you don't know, right? So if we disseminate more information and let people know more people know about what's out there, then there's a better chance that it can help inform their habits that then effect long-lasting changes for conservation efforts, environmental management, or even climate adaptation strategies. So we can have the science, we can have the policies, but if no one